Hello and welcome back to my channel. It's so great to have you here hanging out with me again. In this video, I'm going to give you the good and the bad traits of Cancer and then give a bit of a guide, give you the top 3 do's, the things to do in order to bring out the best in your Cancer, and the top 3 don'ts, which would be the things not to do. This way you can do your part to make sure not to trigger your Cancer into behaving from their negative traits. I'm also going to cover the cusps of Cancer and how being born on the cusp will affect their personality. In addition to that, I'm going to give you the biggest difference between a male Cancer and a female Cancer. And last but not least, I'm going to give you the best soulmate matches for Cancers. So hopefully if you have a Cancer in your life, this will help you to deepen the connection and create a thriving relationship with the oh so lovable, complex, and entertaining crab. Okay, so no more wasting time. Here are the good and bad of Cancer and a quick guide on how to get the best version of them in a relationship. Let's go. Okay, so here are some positive traits of Cancer, and then I will give you the top 3 do's in order to bring out the best in your Cancer. So some of Cancer's positive traits. They are sympathetic, protective, tenacious, and loyal. Cancer is a water sign, so like all 3 of the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, they perceive the world through their emotions. So when they witness someone going through something emotional, they for sure will have compassion for that experience and will be emotionally affected by what they observe. So yes, they are sympathetic. Another positive trait that Cancers have, and one of the things that I love most about you Cancers, is they are protective. Whether it is a close friend, a family member, or their romantic connection, when a Cancer loves you, you can rest assured that they will protect you from any negative energy. They won't even let somebody look at you the wrong way without letting that person know that they are stepping into dangerous territory. So you can rest assured if you have a Cancer in your corner that they have your back. Another great trait about Cancers is because they are emotionally wired, when they want something bad enough and they're emotionally connected to it, they will not give up until they get it. Whatever it is, it could be a career goal, a financial goal, or even just the goal of making sure that someone knows that they chose the wrong person to mess with. Once they are emotionally triggered, they'll be motivated by that emotion and they will see that goal through to the end. So they are for sure tenacious, which goes hand in hand with another great trait of Cancers, and that is their loyalty. Now this loyalty comes into play when they love you and they feel like you love them and that you treat them accordingly. That is when they have unshakable loyalty. But if they're questioning how you feel about them, or they feel like you don't treat them the way they deserve to be treated, then that loyalty is shakeable. Now, in order to do your best to make sure that the Cancer in your life is operating from these positive traits I just mentioned, here are the top 3 do's when it comes to a relationship with a Cancer. Number 1. Do be consistent. A Cancer is very loving, and when they feel secure in the relationship, they are an incredible partner to be with because they are very considerate and conscious about what is going on with the person that they're with. But in order to keep them in that loving place, it is important to not trigger their doubt. So consistency is key. You can't think that you're going to be sweet to them on Monday through Friday and then fall off on Saturday and Sunday and expect things to go smoothly on that weekend. Cancers can be very much like a mirror. They give you back what you're giving them. Consistently give them love and you receive love, but fall off and things can take a turn for the worst. So whatever the standard that you set from the beginning of the relationship, in terms of how you were treating them that made them fall for you and created the connection that the two of you have, it is important to stay consistent with that standard of love, and if you do, the love will grow stronger each day. Number 2, do be authentic. Now that is a big one. Cancers are not trying to be with a fraud. They aren't gonna respect that type of behavior, and you will for sure get a negative reaction from any sort of fraudulent behavior. And they won't be quiet about it either. This goes hand in hand with consistency. If you are going to represent one way of being in private, then a Cancer is thinking that is the real you. So if you get out in public and start behaving differently, they will for sure have some questions for you like, who are you and what do you stand for? So be authentically you through and through and be consistent with that, and you will get the best version of your Cancer. Number 3, Do be present. Okay, if you're in a relationship with a Cancer and you two are spending time together and you are focused on your phone or distracted by what's going on around you, instead of connecting and being mentally and emotionally available for the person that you're with, you will for sure get a negative reaction. Cancers get energized and excited by the relationship when they feel connected to the person that they're with. It is hard to connect with someone, even if you're sitting right next to them, if they are focused on their phone or some other situation other than the one that they're meant to be involved in at that moment in time. Here's the thing, a Cancer is not trying to control you, but if you two are supposed to be spending time together, they're expecting it to feel like you're spending time together. Not like you are physically in the same room, but mentally or emotionally somewhere else. So if you have a date night or you've set aside some time for the two of you, make sure you show up ready to be present for the experience. Keep these dues going strong and you will experience the positivity, the connection, and the loving heart of the Cancer that you're with. Now, if your Cancer gets triggered to anger, then hide your kids and hide your wife because it's about to get ugly. Here's what you can expect from the dark side of Cancers. They can become moody, possessive, nagging, and self-pitying. We already know that the water signs perceive the world through their emotions, so their moods are going to shift quickly when the way that they're experiencing any given circumstance shifts. And if they get triggered to anger, you are for sure going to see a mood shift, and it won't be subtle. You will feel the shade and darkness come over you and the room that they're in. And what was just a sunny, good old time that the two of you are having can quickly shift to a nightmare. So yes, Cancers can be moody. And when they feel that there is any threat going on to their romantic connection, they become very possessive. This is basically the negative side of that positive trait of being protective. Meaning, because they are protective, if they get triggered, then whatever and whoever they see as a threat, they will want to make it very clear that their relationship is not to be toyed with. They will want that outside source to know that you are with them and they are with you, and there is no room for a third party that is bringing any energy other than a friendly, respectable disposition. And once things go south and your Cancer is not in a good place emotionally, don't expect them to let it go. They can for sure start nagging you to do whatever it is they want you to do, and will further exacerbate the issue by going to the self-pitying role of, I can't believe you're doing this to me, I would never do this to you. So though a relationship with a Cancer can be a very beautiful thing, when things get ugly, they get really ugly. So it is best to make sure not to do the things that will trigger your Cancer to switching to the dark side. And to help you on this journey of staying on the good side of your Cancer, here are the don'ts. Number 1. Don't judge how they feel. If a Cancer's mood changes because of something that you've done that has upset them, the last thing you want to do is tell them that they're overreacting or they shouldn't feel how they feel. If you don't agree with it, it's okay, but it's important to let them know that you care. That's all a Cancer wants to know, is that you care. And to them, if you care, you will want to be a part of the solution. You will want to make them happy if they're unhappy. So rather than judge them for feeling a certain way, just ask them what they need from you in order to feel better. That way, you two can start working on the solution together, as opposed to making things worse by you telling them that they shouldn't feel the way that they feel, because that will for sure create more of a disconnect. So finding out what your Cancer needs from you and starting from there will surely get the two of you on a road to reconnection and happiness. Number 2, don't use the phrase, "What's your problem?" or "What's wrong with you?" There are many times when a Cancer is in the mood to just be quiet and recharge, or to just take things in without being so loud and social and laughing and having a good time. For them, at any given moment, they may be having the time of their life, but still just want to sit there in silence. And it has no basis in any negativity. Actually, like I said, they could be in a great mood, but in that moment, they may just want to be a bit more quiet than usual. But if you roll up on them with a judgmental tone, asking them, "Oh, what's wrong with you?" or "What's your problem?" then you're not going to get a favorable response. A Cancer doesn't want to feel misunderstood by the person that they're with. And if you are assuming something is wrong with them just because they aren't up, jumping around, or talking to everyone like they're running for office, if you assume something is wrong simply because they're in a mood to chill, then they will feel misunderstood, which will make them feel disconnected from you. And when they feel disconnected, that's when you have a problem on your hands. So rather than saying, "What's wrong with you?" just say, "Hey, I love you, and if you need anything, let me know." Or if you feel like the I love you part is an overkill, then just go with, hey, if you need anything, let me know. But what you don't want to do is start putting them on the witness stand just for being a bit more quiet than usual. Number 3, don't give them advice they didn't ask for. Okay, this one goes for all the cardinal signs actually. Aries, Libra, and Capricorn. None of these signs get excited by advice that they didn't ask for, but especially Cancers, and this is why. Cancers are a cardinal sign, like I said, which I like to call leader signs because they are initiators and don't mind taking the leadership role in situations. But the thing is, Cancers have a great intuition, as we know, and sometimes their intuition, though, can be confused with the voice of their ego, which will tell them that there's a deeper meaning to someone's behavior, even when there isn't. And this is what I mean by that. If you roll up on a Cancer and you give them advice that they didn't ask for, their first thought is going to be, who asked you, and do you not think I know what I'm doing? Now, your intention may have been to just be helpful and be totally loving, but it is all in the approach. If you have an idea you would like to share or a helpful suggestion that you would like to tell the Cancer in your life about because you love them and you want to in some way make their life easier, then approach it like this. Hey, I have some ideas about that. If you want to hear them, let me know. Then give them the space to do their thing, and if they want to hear your ideas, they will for sure let you know, but they will also for sure appreciate the fact that you didn't just come through changing up the vibe and trying to tell them what to do. Give them that respect and that space to do things their way, letting them know that you're there for them and that you have some ideas that could be helpful, but you're completely open to holding back on them until they want to hear about them. Approach them with that sort of energy and they will respond much more favorably than if you just start telling them what you think they should be doing when nobody asked you. Okay, so now that you have the do's and don'ts, it's important to know there are many different versions of Cancers because we are not just our sun sign. And for the different versions of Cancer with regard to how they will be affected depending on what moon sign there is, check out my video titled The Top 10 Things You Need to Know About Dating a Cancer. The second half is all about the different versions of Cancer based on their moon sign. If you're new to astrology and you don't know what a moon sign is, check out either of these two videos where I explain what your moon sign is and why it's important. And if you don't even know your moon sign, go to astrologyguide.com, put in your birthday info, and find out. Now, the biggest difference between a male Cancer and a female Cancer is this. A Cancer male will take action on his feelings before he has the reassurance that you feel the same way. A Cancer female will for sure hold back until all the info is in and she has deemed you worthy. For example, a Cancer male will be the caretaker with the intention to win you over, whereas a Cancer female won't really open up that loving heart of hers until you've won her over. However, once you've won her over, there is nothing she won't do for you. And the Cancer male, once he has won you over, will then let you into his heart. So the main difference is the Cancer man doesn't mind being the aggressor and making the first move, whereas the Cancer female is going to expect to be won over. Now, the Cancer man is definitely going to do some investigation before he makes his move, but unlike the Cancer female, he's not going to need you to be the aggressor and to make the first move before he opens up. What they both have in common is a traditional sense of romance that is grounded in affection, adoration, and a bond of security where love for them means having each other's back at all times. All right, now let's talk about cusps. For those of you that are new to astrology, cusps basically mean those people born right before another sign is about to begin. So there are 2 cusps for each sign. For Cancer, the first cusp would be those of you who are born from June 21st to June 25th. Right when Gemini is ending and Cancer is beginning. So this would make you a Cancer with Gemini tendencies, meaning that you will for sure have the usual Cancer traits like sympathetic and generous, but you will also allow your intellectual perspective to have much more of a say-so in your behavior. Cancers behave mostly on how they feel about something, but being a Cancer on the cusp of Gemini, you will also have to feel confident in what you think about something as well. When it comes to love, you will also be a Cancer that needs a bit more stimulation and change in order to be content. So you can get bored pretty easily if you aren't with someone that likes to switch it up and keep you on your toes. Now, those of you who are Cancers born from July 18th to July 22nd, you are a Cancer with Leo tendencies. You will have the usual Cancer traits of being idealistic and romantic, but you will also be a bit more forceful in your approach as well as having a bit more of a temper. Love for you will not be an impulsive decision. You will take your time to make sure that you diminish switch the odds of heartbreak or rejection. Not to mention, when it comes to life in general, you won't mind being the center of attention and actually may prefer it, embracing that vulnerability that being center stage can bring. But when it comes to love and relationships, you will make sure to keep that vulnerability to a minimum until you feel completely safe. Which leads me to the next topic, which is Cancers and their best matches for soulmates. So I'm going to break this down into 3 categories. Category 1 is the best matches for Cancers. In no particular order, the best match for Cancers would be Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus, and Leos. The second category are the signs that can work for Cancers, but it will definitely be tricky and will take a little extra work. These signs would be Gemini, Virgo, Libra, and dating another Cancer. The third category would be the most challenging matches for Cancers, and those signs would be Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius, and you guys know how I feel about anti-signs dating each other. It can work for sure, but because they are polar opposites, there will be some major challenges seeing eye to eye in some very specific areas. So because of that, I would say it is very challenging for a Cancer to date a Capricorn. Friends all day, lovers, no. Now remember, I am a firm believer that you can be with anyone if you are in love and both of you are committed to growing together, having good communication, and always doing your part to stay connected. You know what I always say, love. That's all, and that's enough. But this information is just to help you in understanding where the challenges will come into play and how big those challenges could be. But like I said, this is general information because it's only based on just one placement, and knowing the entire chart, the moon sign, the rising sign, Venus placement, they're all going to play a major role in compatibility as well. For example, I have a friend who is Cancer sun with Leo moon, dating someone who is Sagittarius sun with Scorpio moon. And although Sagittarius and Cancer are in my list of most challenging matches, this relationship actually works because the Sagittarius' moon is Scorpio. And this creates a great point of compatibility for the Cancer's water energy, because Cancer and Scorpio work great together. And then the Cancer's moon is Leo, which serves as a great point of compatibility for the Sagittarius' fire energy, because Leo and Sagittarius go great together. So it is important to do a compatibility breakdown on the entire chart if you want the compatibility to be as accurate as possible, because just the sun sign compatibility will mostly indicate if you'll have things in common, but you have to check your moon sign for emotional compatibility and Venus for how the two of you will experience pleasure and the type of energy that you're attracted to and why. Also remember that if you have Cancer moon, this video will resonate, but think of it more as explaining how you are emotionally as opposed to the overall disposition of your conscious mind and how you see the world. So there you have it, the do's and don'ts of dating a Cancer and some extra info on cusps, the biggest difference between a male and female Cancer, and a compatibility breakdown when it comes to finding a soulmate. Hopefully this helps you if you're in a relationship with or interested in being in a relationship with the creative, romantic, supportive, sometimes crabby, but always open-hearted Cancer. I really hope you all enjoyed this information. If you did, please hit that like button. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for taking the time to hang out with me, and I will see you in the next video.